Good morning. We will now start with the second panel, that is the contribution of economic diplomacy in the promotion of experts. I would like to welcome to this online meeting Mr. Kostas Fragogiannis, Deputy Minister for Economic Diplomacy and Openness, Mr. Zois Pitsilis, Governor of the Independent Authority for Public Revenue, and Mr. Konstantinos Michalos, President of Central Union of Chambers and President of the Athens Chamber of Commerce and Industry. 2020 is certainly the most difficult year for the Greek society and economy, and especially for the business sector. Losses are very significant and have created very serious damage. The lesson given to the Greeks is clear. The structure and operation of our economy is still the same. There is a red tape, taxation, lack of liquidity. All this is an obstacle to healthy entrepreneurship, even in the export sector, that is the pillar on which we must build the new Greek economy. There are serious issues. The low uptake of National Statistic Reference Framework funds is a serious problem. However, progress has been made with regard to extroversy and the trust of the markets, and of course, the competent ministers are eager to support the effort of extrovert businesses. The development of experts is a national issue. We must all try towards this direction. The Greek embassies abroad must also contribute to that. So we are eagerly waiting to listen to the Deputy Minister, the Governor of the Independent Authority of Public Revenue, and the President of the Central Union of Chambers to present their proposals, because this situation, despite uncertainty, is favorable to Greek products. I will now give the floor to Mr. Kostas Fragogiannis, Deputy Minister for Economic Diplomacy and Openness. You have the floor. Good morning. Thank you very much for your very kind invitation to participate as a keynote speaker to this conference of the Pan-Hellenic Exporters Association. The association celebrates 75 years of existence, and we are in a situation where the entire planet is faced with the uncertainty caused by the pandemic. This crisis has brought to the fore new challenges that actually create a new scene internationally that bring opportunities and not only challenges. The value of safety and the smooth operation of the supply chain has been highlighted, therefore favoring a differentiation of products and services. The primary sector is a sector in demand, and emerging remote markets are also new markets. Dairy products, aquaculture products are actually very high-ranking products of the Greek market, of Greek experts. Also personal hygiene products and other products that can facilitate daily life in social distancing conditions and in movement restrictions, such as software, IT products, and mobile telephony products. There is also an increase in online service and support without points of sale, physical points of sale. So throughout this period, many would expect that exports would reduce due to the conditions. However, it seems that Greek exporters are resisting and, despite difficulties, are supporting the Greek economy, maintaining employment and increasing the sales of their products to foreign markets. In the last 9 months of this year, the increase and the expansion of COVID-19 at the EU and global level, and despite the initial concern of Greek exporters, there was some optimism with regard to an increased trend in exports for some products. According to a recent study of the Pan-Hellenic Exporters Association, after the record of 2019, when we had 33.8 billion euro in exports, the momentum was maintained also during the pandemic. Exports, and I'm not talking about mineral oil products, there was an increase compared to the similar period of 2019, and we had 17.45 billion compared to 17.2, so we had an increase of 250 million euros. There is an increase in exports to Brazil, Russia, India, South Africa, and other countries beyond Europe. And Greek enterprises are flexible and reactive. The Ministry for Economic Diplomacy understands the situation and provides the right tools to enterprises. Increasing extroversy by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs actually contributes to a better coordination and a better use of the resources that we have in our disposal. I'm mentioning specifically Enterprise Greece. It provides the B2MATS platform that allows business communities from different countries to be in contact, as they would be in the previous situation before the pandemic. It allows enterprises to contact potential clients. We also organize webinars regarding information on foreign markets, and we promote partnerships in order to improve B2B and B2C channels so that products may reach consumers directly. At the same time, we are working towards developing an organized business plan that will make the export credit insurance organization a stronger organization. You will see that it will have a new structure, a new way of operation that will cover the entire set of needs faced by export companies. Despite the pandemic, we see that there is increased investment interest in energy, tourism, and infrastructure, and there is great potential in technology, digital services, managing transport and the supply chain, considering that Greece is an important partner for Eastern Mediterranean, the Balkans, and the Middle East. I would also like to note that the development plan for the Greek economy, which will set the path for using the funds of the recovery fund, of the EU Recovery Fund, recognizes the need to support exports with a goal of making exports 50.5% of the GDP by 2030. So this will be the direction of our efforts in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in collaboration with other stakeholders. Dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, I wish all the best to this conference, and I would like to stress once more that the economic diplomacy services are always available to Greek exporters, and we are looking forward to continuing the very productive relationships we have with the Pan-Hellenic Exporters Association. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Fragogiannis. Mr. Deputy Minister, I will now give the floor to George Pitsilis, Governor of the Independent Authority for Public Revenue. You have the floor.
Good morning. Thank you very much for the invitation in this forum. I would like to thank especially the Pan-Hellenic Exporters Association and its president for the great cooperation that we have been having until today towards our common goal, which is nothing more than the support of Greek exports. The Independent Authority of Public Revenue has supported from the very first moment Greek exports throughout the years. Customs are under our organization, and we have been trying to continuously enhance extroversy of the Greek enterprises by facilitating procedures and supporting transactions. Recently, I read about an international research based on which our country has made has had many developments in customs contribution lately. The overall performance of our country from 37.6% in 2015 reached 70% in 2019, while the performance, especially for in customs, from 54% increased to 83%. Of course, this didn't happen automatically or within a fortnight, but through a series of actions that we set in place. We facilitate and we simplify the exporting procedures. Today, we provide a digitized environment for the exporter so that they can submit electronically their requests and all documents. The maximum time for any exporting process is less than 2 hours. And almost 85% of exports at this moment can be digitally declared based on a digitally hazards evaluation. Second, we modernize customs procedures, free zones, tax-free to third countries, tax-free markets. I can also speak about the free zones. We have drafted a modern regulatory framework in 2018, aiming at reaching full digitization for free circulation of commodities throughout these free zones and a better and more efficient custom control. Recently, the digital application has gone live to request in a digitalized manner several documents that are necessary for exports. We also decreased the fees, the charges for several services, and now we are preparing various electronic platforms that will give us an overall digital environment for exports. This way, the travelers will not be required to stay with the customs to declare any goods. Third, we have the approved economic bodies from 114 in 2016. In 2019, we've reached 180 approved economic bodies. We emphasize VAT return. The average time for VAT return from 100 days that was in 2017 was decreased to 60 in 2017. In 2019, 40% of the VAT requests was completed in less than 30 days. According to the figures of 2020, I see that in this very difficult year, difficult for our services as well, the Independent Authority for Public Revenue has managed to return 500,000 more than last year, 7% more than the target. We have an electronic portal for imports and exports. This is a very important platform for pre-exporting, pre-custom procedures. This is a project that has been already called in October 2020, an invitation for a tender that is under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the General Secretary of Electronic Relations, and of course the Minister, Mr. Fragogiannis, who monitors the high level of this implementation. We continue with the integration of custom services and procedures. It is now our central orientation to timely implement the custom simplification, the simplification of custom procedures. In a couple of words, This means that under the new environment, export and re-export requests can be taking place at the locus of the exporter, no matter where the exports are destined. Location clarification has always been a very important barrier for smooth exports. This is a major project, a multifaceted one, and we expect that it's going to be live and functioning in 2023. Dear friends, your help in whatever we develop is more than necessary. Our cooperation in between the exporters and our authority has been functioning very nicely, and we want this to continue. We want to know exactly what kind of problems you face so that we can become better and we service you in a better way. Thank you very much for your time, and I wish good success in the work of this forum. Thank you, Mr. Pitsilis. I need to say that after Mr. Fragogiannis and Mr. Pitsilis, we have too many questions in the chat, but unfortunately we don't have time for the answers, so I'll give the floor right away to our next speaker, Mr. Michalos, President of the Central Union of Chambers, President of Athens Chamber of Commerce of Industry. Mr. Michalos.
Thank you very much. I would like to thank the Pan-Hellenic Exporters Association and the President, Mrs. Akelaridi, for inviting me here. Ladies and gentlemen, the impact of the pandemic on international trade have obviously had an impact on the momentum of Greek exports. We see that export companies in Greece, despite the difficult situation, are showing a very strong resilience. They are insisting, they are overcoming obstacles, they are making use of opportunities in order to increase the presence of products abroad. It is indicative that in the period January-September 2020, Greek exports, with the exception of mineral oil products, had positive numbers, a positive trend within an environment that was volatile and insecure. There were also impressive performance such as food products and fruit and vegetables, where producers made use of increased demand in order to promote the high nutritional value of Greek products. This trend confirms that Greek export companies can be in the first line of recovery and growth for the Greek economy post-COVID-19. This also demonstrates the fact that targeted strengthening and support measures are needed so that enterprises may be able to respond to current pressures and to face the challenges of the future by adapting their strategy and making use of new tools. With the right initiatives, this pandemic can become an opportunity for extroversy within the Greek economy and for a transition of the economy towards a new sustainable development model that is focused on production and the export of high added value products. In the effort to promote Greek exports in the next years, the role of the state will be critical, both in terms of economic diplomacy and administrative services, and of course, business associations and chambers. Within an environment of important challenges and changes, the connection of financial priorities with the strategy of Greece's foreign affairs policy is a necessity. Economic diplomacy will have to defend the interests of Greek enterprises, support their efforts within international markets, and open up new business opportunities and networking paths in the context of intergovernment agreements and contacts. In this context, we consider that it is important that Enterprise Greece and the Export Credit Insurance Organization have been put under the responsibility of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Collaboration among extraversion mechanisms has been a strong demand of exporters and the broader business community. In this way, it is easier to implement a cohesive and integrated strategy for promoting both external trade and, of course, investments. This will also allow for a better use of all available financing tools and resources to the benefit of export companies, especially SMEs that are now facing the most important obstacles in terms of developing their extrovert nature. Today, we need to create a complete set of services addressed to export companies, covering sectors such as the provision of services on sectors and markets, education and training, coaching, consultation, for drafting business plans, preparing client lists, certification, standardization, etc. It is also important to focus on the transfer of know-how and the provision of guidance to services located in remote areas and especially agri-food businesses. In this effort, it is important that the state joins forces with the business sector, as business associations and chambers can contribute to the implementation of projects and provide feedback to decision makers. This is a role that can be undertaken by the chambers, as you know, in the past years, in a very difficult environment for export activity. The chamber community is systematically supporting the activities of Greek exporters by developing a comprehensive set of actions, providing business information services, training, education services. So in this way, chambers contribute to addressing the deficit of skills and internal organization faced mainly by SMEs in the export sector. In addition, through the networking and collaborations with foreign and bilateral chambers, chambers promote Greek products and provide networking opportunities. In this context, the Central Union of Chambers of Greece and the Athens Chamber of Commerce and Industry have signed memorandums of collaboration with the General Secretariat of International Trade Relations and Growth Cooperation of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The goal is to jointly create and implement extraversion activities for businesses and promote them in foreign markets. This includes the joint organization of information events for businesses and also utilizing the international contacts of the Central Union of Chambers in the context of economic diplomacy. The agreements also provide for joint training to chamber employees regarding the needs of Greek exporters for its market. In the context of our collaboration with the Athens Chamber of Commerce and Industry, we will make use of the incubator of the chamber in order to promote the competitiveness of Greek businesses and the economy as a whole. To sum up, what we want to do is to continue this effort, which is very important. We will continue to make use of our structures, of our experience, and the knowledge we are drawing from our daily contact with our members throughout Greece. The effort to improve the overall administrative environment for export businesses is also important. In this context, we are supporting proposals such as the reform of transnational trade procedures, making them more cost-effective and having better customs services, creating service stations for exporters in big customs offices, creating a single tax portfolio for each export company for offsetting all kinds of credit, debit, taxes, and other fees, as well as further simplifications and facilities for consistent businesses that are paying their taxes. And of course, simplifying customs certificate issuance. So extrovert business activity is the motor force that will help the Greek economy recover in the next years. Thank you very much for hosting me here, for allowing me to take the floor. I wish all the best to this conference. Thank you very much, Mr. Michalos. I would like to ask Mr. Fragogiannis whether you can take a very brief question. Mr. Fragogiannis, can you hear me? It will be my pleasure to answer a question. I have to leave in 5 minutes because I have to catch a flight. Yes, exporters are interested in the new credit insurance organization, export credit insurance organization. So it will not be providing just the old credits, but it must adapt to the new situation. So there is a full product mix that must be served. What we have done is ask for technical assistance from the best organization in the world in terms of credit insurance. This advice has been taken into account. We have developed an organizational plan, a new structure, new products. A full presentation has been provided with regard to the new draft law. So I believe that in the next few weeks, we are going to start this huge project that will actually provide the Greek exporters with a full package of services for export credit insurance. So they will have whatever they need in this sector. Thank you very much, Mr. Fragogiannis. I will allow you to leave. And now ask a question to Mr. Pitsilis. Can you talk about the framework for the new customs regulation that will be ready in 2023? Right now, we are planning the regulatory part and the digital part. This is a very big project, a very important project. Design is underway. We will say more when we are able to have a more detailed discussion. And of course, we want to talk about many things with you regarding central customs. It is a very important subject. It is a game changer for the customs procedure. And of course, regarding customs revenues and the way experts will function in the future. So we will have the opportunity to talk about it more in the next months. Thank you very much, Mr. Pitsilis. Now, Mr. Michalos. Recovery Fund. Where do you think that chambers should focus their efforts so that businesses, expert businesses, may receive more benefits from the Recovery Fund? Okay, let's start with the Recovery Fund as a whole. We have seen that in principle there is an agreement at the European Union, and we will have 32 billion euros of assistance to Greece, and there is, of course, an amount of subsidy and an amount that will cover loan obligations of Greece. What is sad right now is that we are delaying. There's a delay at the EU level. There is no final decision so far and no specific allocation of the resources decided by the EU. despite the fact that the EU is advertising this huge amount of 750 billion that will cover the needs of EU member states. On the other side of the Atlantic, in the US, and I know that many friends and colleagues are now watching from the US, in the past 8 months, they have already printed $10 trillion. So this is a country that has the geographic extent of Europe approximately, and approximately the same population. And today, the House of Representatives in the US is discussing about the additional approval of an amount to be injected to the market due to difficulties in the economy to address the crisis. So we are lagging behind, and we see that at least 3 countries from Northern Europe presenting resistance and reactions with regard to the allocation of the amounts among the North and the South of Europe. I believe that the procedure will be expedited, it will go faster, and we will be able to receive this amount. And of course, the funds must be allocated to the productive sector. And of course, extroversion is an important aspect. Without this added value, we will never have a sustainable and stable recovery in Greece. So extrovert sectors that are showing a momentum, a potential, and other sectors that need help through better internal organization, I believe that they can be assisted. So the experts of Greece can go from 2.5% to 10% in the next 3 to 5 years. It is important, in order for this to happen, to focus on extrovert companies and support extrovert companies. Thank you. Okay, so here I would like to thank once more Mr. Kostas Fragogiannis, Mr. George Pitsilis, and Mr. Konstantinos Michalos for participating in this panel discussion. We'll have a short break, and we'll be here shortly. Thank you.